Welcome to our 41st webinar on healthy living. We are thrilled to have each and every one of you join us from the comfort of your homes as we come together for another evening of learning how nutrition can help us live our best, healthiest lives. While maintaining a healthy lifestyle can really be challenging, tonight we will discover that with valuable insights and practical tips from our resource speaker, healthy living can actually become manageable and even exciting and enjoyable. So we hope by the end of this evening, you will feel inspired, motivated, and equipped with the knowledge, right habits, and nutritional support that can make positive changes in your lives.
Session on gut health and protein power. And I know many of those watching us are watching in actually as a group. So back to you, Kate.
Thanks, Les. So it is with great pleasure and excitement that I introduce to you our very special guest for tonight's, actually part 3 na ito, session on healthy living. As you can see, he's a leading expert in the field of health and wellness. He has spent 20 plus years in developing nutritional products. He is a fellow of the American College of Nutrition, the American College of Sports Medicine, and the American Institute of Stress. He's a diplomate of the International Olympic Committee Sports Nutrition Program, and he has also served as a nutrition educator for elite level athletes. He has written 2 academic textbooks, done an award-winning documentary film, and several best-selling books translated into more than a dozen languages. He has been featured as a resource speaker on the Dr. Oz show as Dr. Nandi, the TED stage, and of course, something to really be proud of, the White House. My dear Kayani Amare family, let's all fill the chat box with loud applause, hearts, and sparkles as we welcome founding executive and scientific officer of Amare Global, Dr. Sean Talbot.
Welcome, hey, Dr. Kate, Sean. How are you? Nice to see you.
We're so happy you're joining us again tonight. It's so kind of you. I know you're such a busy fellow. You're all over the place, I think all over the world even, right, Dr.
All
Sean?
over, yeah. It's good though, because we're reaching a lot of people.
Yes. So, Dr. Sean, what do you have in store for us tonight?
Yeah, okay. So we've talked already in these other healthy living webinars that we've done. We've talked about Happy Juice. We've talked about the triangle of health. We've talked about how the gut and the brain talk to each. Oh, wait, let me see. Okay, we've talked about how the gut and the brain talk to each other. You know, the brain in your head and the brain in your gut, what we call the second brain. We have talked about how it's important to balance your cellular protection, you know, with antioxidants and anti-inflammatory nutrients. So we've talked about a lot of really cool things. And so tonight we're going to really hone in on 2 important topics: gut health and protein. And those are both important for more than I think people understand sometimes. So I'm going to see if I can share my slides real quick. I've just got a few slides that I want to share with people. And they are from, let's see, you can probably see that now. Can you see a slide now on the screen that just says gut health? With a picture of Nitro? Or I'm sorry, a picture of Restore?
Right,
okay, perfect. So a lot of times people only think about their gut health when they're having a gut problem, you know, when they're nauseous or when they're having some gas or bloating or they feel like they're not digesting. That's the time when people think of gut health. And I want people to understand that gut health is a lot more than just that. Your gut affects everything in your entire body. In fact, the research around what we call the gut-brain axis is completely changing how we think about healthy humans, how it's completely changing how we think about human performance, about mental function, about healthy aging. It all comes back to the gut. And the new science is really telling us that this is true. There were stories 2,000 years ago, right? In ancient Greek medicine, Hippocrates said, all disease begins in the gut. And most scientists like myself would go, oh, that's nonsense. That's ridiculous, because we didn't have the research to back up claims like that. But nowadays we can actually show if you have poor gut health, and there's lots of ways you can have bad gut health, and I'll talk about some of those in a second. If you have poor gut health, that can lead to your brain not working well, meaning you have brain fog and you can't concentrate and you're not in a good mood and things like that. And so we've talked about some of those on some of these other healthy living webinars. But now what we're learning is that having poor gut health can actually cause you to age faster. Some of the primary diseases of aging, if you will, start in the gut. So things like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and multiple sclerosis and a variety of what we used to think of as purely brain diseases are actually gut-brain diseases. And so that's not to say that taking a product like Restore is going to prevent diseases. That's not the story we're going for. What we want people to understand is that maintaining gut health is important for the health of your gut. It's important for the health of your brain. It's important for the health of every aspect of your body. And it's important for your ability to have the highest level of happiness and performance and everything that you want to do. It really starts in the gut. And so, and in fact, so much so, I wore this t-shirt today. It says healthy gut, healthy mind, because it really does start in that second brain. And so what do I mean when I say gut health? What I love about Restore is that it takes an approach of saying, hey, gut health isn't just about one thing, like the bacteria in your gut, your microbiome. It's about a variety of things. And here we have got a number of different approaches to improving gut health. So the first one is probiotics. These are the healthy bacteria that will support what's happening at the level of your microbiome. So in your gut, you've got 10 trillion, 100 trillion, somewhere in there, number of bacteria. That's more cells, that's more bacterial cells than you have human cells in your body. So every single human walking around the planet right now is actually more bacterial than they are human in terms of the number of cells. And so right there, that tells you that they're probably important for something. And what we're learning is that those bacteria, they make our neurotransmitters, they make inflammatory compounds or anti-inflammatory compounds. So you can have good signals coming from your gut or bad signals coming from your gut. They make a lot of the appetite signals that we have. So if you're hungry all the time and you're always looking for little snacks, it might be because you have the wrong bacteria in your gut. And when they get hungry, they send a signal to your brain to tell you that you're hungry. And so you go and eat. And we can actually change the bacterial signals. We can change the bacteria, and we can change the signals that they send out to your brain. So we can help control hunger that way. We can help control your level of inflammation. We can help control a whole variety of different things by focusing on the gut. And so it's not just one probiotic that you want to take. You can see here we've got a number of them. All these words, L. plantarum, L. acidophilus, L. rhamnosus, B. longum, etc. Those all refer to different species of bacteria that all do different things. So the L stands for lactobacillus. The B stands for bifidobacterium. Those are two major classes of bacteria. Lactobacillus help to support the environment of the gut so that more good bacteria can grow and less bad bacteria. And then the bifidobacterium in general, those are the ones that are producing the healthy chemicals. They're producing the neurotransmitters. They're producing compounds called short chain fatty acids that help our metabolism and help our mind. They produce all kinds of signaling molecules around inflammation and appetite and things like that. So we want to have them both. We want to have lactobacillus to do what they do, and we want to have bifidobacterium to do what they do. So I like the fact that there's a broad range of these different probiotics there. But that's not all we want to do in the gut. It's not just about the bacteria. It's also about the enzymes. So enzymes help us digest our food. When we eat something, let's say we eat a sandwich. In that sandwich, there are going to be a variety of different types of foods that need different types of enzymes in order to digest them. So you can think really broadly. In that sandwich, you might have some carbohydrates. That takes one kind of enzyme. You might have some protein. That's another kind of enzyme. You might have some fat. That's another kind of enzyme. And so the digestive enzyme blend here in Restore gives you a variety of different kinds of enzymes to work on the carbohydrates for digestion and the proteins and the fats, so you get adequate digestion of all those different types of food. But then you also see that there are enzymes that work in different parts of the digestive tract. So let me go back. I'm not sure why this keeps changing. But so digestion isn't just about the types of food; it's also about the place in your digestive tract. So your stomach, the upper part of your digestive tract, has different kinds of enzymes than the middle part of your digestive tract, which is your small intestine. That's where most of your digestion happens and most of your nutrient absorption. And that has different types of enzymes than the large intestine, the lower part of your digestive tract. So not only do we have all the types of enzymes for all the types of foods, but we have all the types of enzymes for each of the portions of your gastrointestinal tract, the upper, the middle, and the lower. And what that means is that you can get adequate and optimal digestion and absorption of those nutrients at each of those different stages. So, this means that we can help solve some of the digestive problems, like gas happens at one part, nausea happens at one part, bloating happens at one part, heartburn happens at one part. And so if you can balance the environment of that entire gut system, then you're going to feel a lot better. And then the last two blends, the gut health blend and the liver and kidney blend, these really help to sort of, I would say, soothe the gut. So if you do have a little bit of inflammation going on in the gut, or you've had some food that is causing a problem, these are herbals that can help to soothe that, to help have an anti-inflammatory effect, to help have a gut integrity effect, so that we can reduce some of the damage that goes on from some of the food that we eat sometimes that we shouldn't eat. Some of these nutrients can also, like marshmallow root is a really fun one. It can help to grow a thicker mucus lining that can help protect your gut from future damage. So what you can see here is that Restore, people think of it as oh, that's my digestive enzyme, or that's my gut support product. But it's a lot more than just that in those little capsules. It really is a whole system that starts in the gut, but then permeates out through the whole rest of the body. Okay, so we can come back and we can talk about gut health some more when we go to the Q&A portion. But I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about protein. So when we talk about protein, there are so many different reasons why people want to take protein. It's not just for weight loss. It's not just for appetite control. It's not just for muscle building. Protein is the core of our bodies. Our bodies are made of protein. And so we have protein in our muscles. We have protein in our tendons and our ligaments. We have protein in our skin and our hair. I'm probably not the best person to be talking about hair, but you guys get the idea. We have protein. Protein is what makes up the structure of our entire bodies. And so we want to make sure that we have enough protein on board, not too much, not too little. We want to have the just right amount of protein so that we can maintain the integrity of all of these tissues in our bodies. And this is one of the problems with protein intake. We don't get protein at the right times of the day. So a lot of times, at least here in the United States, sometimes people will say, oh, well, people get plenty of protein. We don't need more protein. And sometimes that's the case. Sometimes we need to space out our protein. And so a lot of times people don't get enough protein in the morning. And so their bodies go through a period of time throughout the day where your body doesn't have the building blocks on board, those amino acids from the proteins, to maintain all those tissues in your body. And so one of the things I love about protein supplements is that you can take that protein and insert it whenever you want to. Sometimes it's in the first thing in the morning, so that instead of somebody having a bagel or a bowl of oatmeal or something that is just high in carbohydrates but low in protein, we can say, you know what? A better choice might be something that is balanced, that is focused on protein, but then also has a little bit of carbohydrate and also has a little bit of fat. That's a much healthier way for most people to go. Sometimes people use a protein shake at lunchtime, because sometimes we don't have time for lunch, or we're too busy, or we're running from one place to the other. Protein at lunch can really fill that gap. Most people are getting most of their protein at dinner, and so we usually don't need a protein supplement there. But at least with some of the athletes that I work with, we'll use a protein supplement in the evening before they go to bed, so that we can nourish their muscles overnight, and they can really help to maintain their muscles. So let's talk about how we've done the proteins here with Origin, and then the next one, Fit 20. So here we've got, with Origin, we've got two flavors, a vanilla and a chocolate, and it's what we refer to as a balanced macronutrient blend. It's not just protein. It's a really good amount of protein, 20 grams of protein, but then we combine that with 4.5 grams of fat and 12 grams of carbs. And that sounds like a lot of carbs for people who are trying to watch their carb intake, but 5 of those are fiber and only 5 of those are sugar. And so this helps it taste good. It helps it have good body and good what we call mouth feel. So it tastes delicious for people. But your body wants to use protein in the context of a little bit of fat and a little bit of fiber. Your body will handle it better, absorb it better, deliver it better. You'll utilize it better if you're doing it in a balanced macronutrient. So you have the macronutrient of protein, the macronutrient of fat, and the macronutrient of carbohydrate and fiber. And we get that protein and we get that blend of macronutrients from a variety of different sources. So the protein doesn't come from just one source. It comes from pea protein, pumpkin seed protein, sunflower seed, and fava bean. And in the future, we actually have I wonder if I have it on my desk right now. I don't see a sample of it. We have a brand new version of Origin that we're going to be launching sometime in the future. We've been playing around with a few things. We were able to add a really, really cool new fiber that really supports gut health, some of the things that I just mentioned a few minutes ago. And we found a really, really good protein that comes from chickpea fiber, or it comes from a chickpea, and the chickpea gives you a good blend of protein and a good blend of these fibers that help to nourish the microbiome. And so we've been able to add those ingredients into a future version that will launch at some point, and it tastes absolutely delicious. I'll tell you guys a funny story. When we were looking at all the different products in Kiani, when we were considering this merger between Kiani and Amare, I brought home a whole bunch of different Kiani products. And, I looked at the nutrition facts and we looked at the research and we tasted all of them. And my son was home from college during that period of time. And he tasted these Origin proteins and he came back to me and he said, "Dad, you guys really need to do this deal. You need to merge these companies together because that's the best tasting protein powder that I've ever had." And he's a young man, he's always in the gym. He's trying to get all, strong and buff and things like that. And so he's always using proteins. And this one he just really, really loved. So I said to him, "Alex, I will tell the team that we need to do this multi-million-dollar merger just so you can get access to the best tasting protein powder." So he thought it was the best tasting, and we've even made it better with this new version that we'll have coming out. So fiber from a bunch of different sources, and that's important because different fibers feed different parts of your gut. So different bacteria in your gut like to use different kinds of fiber. So you don't want to give just one fiber, just like you don't want to just do one protein source. You want to have a diversity of it. And then this last one, this citrulline, this is an amino acid that the body can use as a building block to make nitric oxide, which opens up your blood vessels and helps with blood flow and nutrient delivery throughout your entire body, not just to your muscles. But here's why this is really cool. I read a new scientific paper that just came out a couple of weeks ago that analyzed all the different nitric oxide studies and how it relates to athletic performance. And what they found was if you can deliver the nitric oxide, whenever we deliver nitric oxide, or whether we increase nitric oxide, it's good for the brain, it's good for the heart, it's good for all the different tissues. But if you can deliver it acutely, meaning right around the time of exercise, within the 10 seconds to 3 minutes or so within the early phases of a explosive workout like weightlifting or sprinting or something like that, then you can not only improve blood flow and improve nutrient delivery, but you can improve power output. And that means your muscles can contract faster. They can contract harder. And that's really, really important, because one of the ways that I recommend people take their protein, aside from in the morning and at lunchtime and things like that, if you can take your protein right around the times of your workouts, that's going to improve your muscle building. It's going to make sure that you hold on to your muscle. And if you're trying to lose weight, you'll lose fat only, and you won't lose any of your muscle mass. Now we have a reason to tell athletes or anybody who's exercising, take your protein supplement right around the time of your workout, because now it's going to improve your muscles' ability to contract, and you can generate a better workout. So all kinds of reasons that you want to take protein, and you want to take the right kind of protein, and you want to take the right blend of protein. Now we can get a little bit more targeted. So here's a product called Fit20. This is a completely different kind of protein. So if I go back to origin, you'll see that the protein sources are all plant-based. There's lots of people that want a plant-based protein, and there's a lot of people that want not a plant-based protein. So what we want to do is be able to satisfy those different needs. So if you're looking for plant-based, like what my son looks for, he looks for plant-based, Origin is the way to go. If you're looking for the best way to improve your muscles and improve your tendons and your ligaments, this is the way to go, Fit20. And that's not a plant-based source. That is an animal-based source. These animal-based proteins, whey protein comes from milk, so it comes from cows. Collagen also comes from cows, and there's some people that want that benefit. But if you're vegan, or if you're trying to go more plant-based, then this is probably not going to be the solution for you. Who is this the solution for? This is the perfect product for somebody who's trying to maintain muscle mass or gain muscle mass and trying to lose fat. And the reason is because whey protein and collagen protein do things for the muscle that plant proteins just don't do as well. They do them fine, but if you want to really maximize your benefits in the gym, this is the product for you. And so the 20 grams of protein that you have here are half whey, which is going to fuel your muscles, and half collagen, which is going to support your tendons and your ligaments. And this is something that I think a lot of athletes forget about. Most of the protein products, sports products that are on the market, sports protein products that an athlete would use or that a weightlifter would use, they're mostly based on whey. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because whey is the protein that really, really stimulates something called muscle protein synthesis. So if you're trying to build muscles, whey is definitely the way to go. But what athletes forget about is that those muscles are supported by tendons and ligaments. And so you can make a really, really strong muscle, but if you don't also support the tendons that connect the muscle to the bone and the ligaments that connect the bones to the bones, then you're going to have a weak system, and you're not going to be as strong. You're not going to be as protected from injury. You're not going to be able to recover from the damaging effects of your workout unless you're supporting that whole system. So we talk about in sports medicine, we talk about muscles being a system that includes the muscles, the tendons, and the ligaments. That's a whole system together. And if we can nourish that whole system, the athlete's going to be stronger. They're going to have better performance. They're going to be more protected against injuries. And if they do get injured, they're going to be able to recover faster. And the way to do that is by giving whey and collagen at the same time. But you see here, what we've also done is we're not giving you just protein. We're also giving you a little bit of fat, a little bit of carbs, because that is what the body wants to see. The body doesn't want to see just protein. The body was designed to see a mixed meal or a macronutrient blend. And that's exactly what we have in this product. And then you see citrulline again. Like I described before, if you're taking this around the time of your workout, it's improving blood flow, it's improving the power output of those muscles, and it's going to give you a really, really good workout. Plus, this tastes really delicious. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is collagen. Collagen is also a protein. So we have 10 grams of collagen in Fit20 here for people who are just looking for collagen to support your skin or your joints or your gut or any of the connective tissues in your body. That's what collagen is made of. Collagen is the primary protein across our entire body. Our bones are made out of collagen. Our joint cartilage are made out of collagen. A lot of people will take collagen to improve their skin tone and, reduce their wrinkles and things like that. And that's because collagen is the chief protein in all of those different connective tissues. So this is a really interesting way to take it. It's very convenient. It tastes good. So there's 2 flavors, berry lemonade and peach. It's sugar-free, but just like the protein products, not just protein, this is also not just collagen. I think people sometimes miss the fact that collagen is a structural protein, but in order to keep that protein strong, it has to have support nutrients. It has to have ingredients that provide an antioxidant effect, because if that collagen becomes oxidized, it can become brittle. So then it doesn't hold water as well. It's not as stretchy. It's not as elastic. And that can actually, collagen that has become damaged isn't as strong. It isn't as flexible. It doesn't prevent wrinkles as well. It doesn't show as good skin tone. And so, we really want to make sure that we not only build the collagen with collagen proteins, but we also want to strengthen and protect and support the process of collagen turnover. And that's what these ingredients do. Chicory root, fern extract, apple cider vinegar, coenzyme Q10, which is a powerful antioxidant, and then hyaluronic acid, which helps to hydrate that collagen. All of these help to support that overall collagen turnover. So you don't just build the collagen, but you keep it healthy while it's there, so it functions and it does exactly what you want it to do, which is keep your skin supple, keep your joints hydrated, maintain all your connective tissues. And so I'm going to stop my share right there. Those slides that I just used are part of an overall product training that I did, that's posted up. It's posted on my blog. It's posted on my YouTube page. People can go, and if you want to get like a deep dive into any of those ingredients, I invite you to go and find those videos and watch them if you want to. I talk about other Amari products. I talk about other Kyani products, but in this forum, I wanted to just give you the sort of the highlights, and then I can hand it back over to Kate. Thanks a lot.
Wow, Dr. Sean, this is so exciting. I took down a lot of notes. So let's go back to gut health.
Okay.
You said something about we only start looking at our gut health when it starts hurt, our tummy start to hurt, or we
Right.
pass a lot of gas, etc., etc. What's happening there when that's happening? Is it because something we ate that we pass a lot of gas or something?
Yeah, it could be. So it could be that you ate something that your body's not used to. And so when your body can't fully digest something, there's a lot of leftovers that reach down into your large intestine where your bacteria live. And when your bacteria start eating this novel food that they're not used to seeing, they might produce a lot of gas. And so there's lots of ways that we can support that we can remove that. We can say, well, wait a minute, maybe you didn't digest it well enough, so let's give digestive enzymes. But maybe you don't have the right bacteria, so let's give you the right bacteria. Maybe you have a problem with your gut, what we call gut integrity. You might have something called leaky gut, and that can cause some of those problems. You might have not a thick enough mucus lining in your gut, and that might be leading to damage and inflammation and changing the environment of your gut. So it could be this, it could be this, it could be this, it could be this. And that's why nitro is such a brilliant approach, because you don't necessarily know. I ate this thing and now I'm having this problem, but you don't know, was it a digestion problem? Was it a gut integrity problem? Was it a bacteria microbiome problem? And so here's one product that addresses all of those and really works across the entire gastrointestinal tract. So you don't have to guess. You can just take that one product and it solves all those issues.
Okay, Dr. Sean, my youngest daughter, because I have 8 children, and they've tried all of our Kayani products. She said that when she started to take Restore after a meal, she poops with joy.
Yes, exactly. And
What happened?
Yep. Because that part of elimination, right? Part of the whole gastrointestinal tract is digestion and absorption, then deliver the leftover foods to the microbiome, make sure that you can absorb all of them. But then wait a minute. Now we have to get rid of this stuff, right? So, if you, that's what we call gut motility. If you get rid of that stuff too quickly, that's diarrhea. If you hold on to that stuff too long, that's constipation. We don't want either of those, right? We don't want our motility to be too fast or too slow. We want it to be just right. And that's what your daughter is experiencing. That's what we all want. We want to have that, not just good digestion, but also good elimination. And Nitro helps with that as well.
Wonderful. How about people suffering from acid reflux? Which of Kayani can help with that one?
Yeah, Nitro can help there as well. So this is really cool about merging these two companies, right? So on the Amari side, we've had a product called Digestive, which is digestive enzymes and then herbs that help with motility enhancement, moving the food through the GI tract. On the Restore side, you have the ingredients that you have. We're going to merge those two products together. So we'll take the ingredients in Digestive and put them into Restore. So Restore is really great right now, but it's going to be even better when we eventually get to that point of merging all the products together. But that idea of reflux, that's something that's happening in the upper part of your digestive tract, in your stomach. And a lot of people think because they're feeling this acid, they think, oh, I must have too much acid here. Let me take one of these drugs that lowers my acid production. That's absolutely the wrong thing to do. It's in fact, it's opposite of what you should do. What you need is more acid in order to make that digestion happen. So we have some of those digestive enzymes in Restore, but what you also need is the herbs that help the stomach to empty faster, because reflux typically comes to most people because they're not producing enough acid. So that causes two problems. You produce a little bit of acid, but that's not enough to get the digestion properly completed. And if you can't complete the digestion, the food just sits there. And so now you have this partially digested food that has a little bit of acid, and that is what's causing the reflux. That's what's causing the heartburn. If you have the right nutrients, you get that food out of the stomach and into the small intestine, and you never have an opportunity to even have heartburn. So it's that idea of, wait a minute, we need different things in the stomach and different things in the small intestine and different things in the large intestine, and Restore is already built with all of those nutrients.
Fantastic. So people suffering from acid reflux can be helped tremendously by the Restore, because that's
right,
what
exactly. And then once your gut health gets better, it's not just about you having, better elimination and less heartburn and less gas, because a better gut means a better body and a better mind and a better performance in all those different things.
Yeah. And, I was telling you before we started the webinar that I've invited some of my senior friends. Seniors in the Philippines are men and women age 60 and up. Okay. All right. And because I like what you're wearing now, a healthy gut means a healthy mind. And earlier on, you said something like, if our gut's healthy, then that can help prevent mental problems like, dementia.
Right. Yeah. There's some new studies coming out showing that people, as we age, there's some people age well, what we call successful aging, and some people don't age well, what we call frailty. And the frail people are the ones that they lose muscle mass and they lose memory and they lose their energy and they lose the ability to get around. And, nobody wants to be on that side. We all want to be successfully aging, and someone look and say, how old are you? You seem so much younger, right? That's what all of us want. And so these new studies are comparing what does the gut look like in people who are frail and people who have successful aging. And there are significant differences in their bacteria, their microbiome, differences in their degree of leaky gut, differences in how the gut controls the immune system. And so, yeah, the whole field of anti-aging medicine is really looking at the gut now as almost like the central regulator of what's going on. And so, knowing that from the science, it gets people like me, really product developers, to go, I wonder if by doing things in the gut to keep the gut healthy for all the benefits we just talked about, I wonder if that would also help us age better. And I think the science it's early science right now, but I think at least from some of the rodent studies that we've seen, that's exactly what happens. You can't do that study in a human, right? You can't say, well, let's get someone and we'll follow them for 60 years as we give them this dietary supplement, right? We'll never be able to do that study. But you can do it with mice, and you can follow them for a year, and that's like having a 70-year-old human, and you can see that the mice that have better gut health, they live longer. And not only do they live longer, they live better. They're more energetic. They get on the wheel and they run. Their brains are better. They're more social with their litter mates. They are successfully aging if they have a better gut.
Thank you, Dr. Sean. You mentioned something about when we are hungry all the time, we probably have the wrong bacteria inside of us.
Right.
And then you said something like you can control the hunger by correcting the bacteria.
Yes.
How can the products that you just discussed now help us, control our cravings for food, etc.?
Yeah, so this is a whole. I could talk for a whole hour about this idea.
Yeah.
But most of the appetite signals that we get in our brain that tell us, are we hungry or are we full?
Yeah.
Most of those signals come from the gut. Some of them are made by the actual gut tissue, and some of them are made by the bacteria in the gut. And so, again, we can take a comprehensive, holistic product like a Restore and say, we're going to manage the bacteria, we're going to manage the gut lining, we're going to manage the digestion, because all of that impacts on, do you have more hunger hormones or do you have more satiety hormones so you feel full? And we can change that. We've been able to show that if you get the right bacteria, you can send a signal to the brain that says, I'm full. I'm not quite as hungry. And why is that exciting? That's exciting because that's a natural way to do what a lot of these drugs that are hitting the market right now are doing. So maybe you've heard of in the Philippines this drug that is it's the number one selling drug in the world right now called Ozempic, which was originally developed as a diabetes drug to help control blood sugar, but now it's been realized that that signal comes from the gut. It's something called GLP-1. It comes from the gut and it goes to the brain and tells you that you're full or less hungry, so you eat less. So now it's being used as a weight loss drug, and everyone's trying to get it. It costs thousands of dollars a month, but people really want to lose weight. They really want to not be hungry all the time. And what if you could do that naturally? So here's a reason why we say, let's improve overall gut health. And one of those pieces of overall gut health is sending the right signals. So you're less hungry for junk food and comfort food and fast food, and you're more inclined to say, hey, I'm going to choose a salad today, right? That's a really important thing for a lot of people.
Right. Dr. Sean, I noticed in the morning, I take my Sunrise, actually 2 sachets of Sunrise, and mixed it with water and Origin. And that's like my breakfast.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Is that a
That's
good?
fantastic. Yeah. And that might be the most nutritious meal that you're going to have all day, because you've got all the phytonutrients of Sunrise, you've got all the phytonutrients and the proteins and the good carbohydrates from Origin. And then you think about then you're going to go choose as healthy a lunch as possible and as healthy a dinner as possible. Mm-hmm. Even that is probably not going to be as nutrient dense as what you just had for breakfast. And it was simple and it was easy and quick and delicious and all the things that we want.
Yeah. And then when I get hungry, like between lunch and dinner, so I take again that drink, the Sunrise with the Origin. Is that okay?
It's perfect.
Is that too
it's
much?
Absolutely perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So business partners tuning in, that's the best combination, the Sunrise and the Origin. Like me, Mommy K takes it for breakfast, and we call it like the mid-afternoon snack, you know?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's a smart thing to do, because what you want to do is really be able to deliver these nutrients to your body throughout the entire day. You know, so not waiting, not storing up and starving yourself all day and then having a big dinner. That's one of the worst ways to do it.
Okay.
So yeah, doing it just like that is right spot on.
Spot on. Okay. Then you talked about enzymes, Dr. Sean, and you said that enzymes help us digest our food.
Yep.
All right. Filipinos love to eat all you can buffet.
Yes.
A whole spread, maybe like about 2,000 pesos. How much is that in dollars? Maybe $40 worth. And then you have a spread of several salads, pasta, main courses, a carving, there's soup, dessert. That's not good. That's not healthy, right, Dr. Sean?
That's
Because
not great. Yeah, but I'll say this.
yeah,
Don't never do that kind of stuff, right? You need to go do that kind of stuff sometimes.
yes, for birthdays and
Right, exactly. For celebrations.
Yeah. But it's not healthy to do that all the time, right?
Absolutely not. But then when you do it, one of the strategies I like to do, so you don't have some of the side effects, is to take digestive enzymes. So take something like Restore before you start celebrating like that, and then take them at the end. You could even, some people get really good about it, and they take them before, mid-meal, and then at the end, because then what you've got is you've got those enzymes and you've got all those gut supporters throughout the entire meal, because that's probably a celebration that's going to go on for, you know, more than just going in there and eating the food and leaving. You're probably going to be hanging out. You're probably going to be talking. It's probably going to be a longer sort of a duration. But yeah, you don't want to do that all the time. But certainly when you do it, when you indulge, that's a great place to be supporting your gut health.
Yeah. Dr. Sean, you mentioned that we can take the Restore before that huge meal, maybe even in the middle of it and after. How much Restore can we actually take in a day? Because sometimes I take as much as 6. Is that all?
Yeah. So I take it twice a day. I take it with my largest meal, which is usually my dinner. And then I take it again before I go to bed. And I do that for the heartburn benefits that we talked about before. Okay. I don't want to have any heartburn or reflux or any of that kind of stuff during the evening to wake me up or anything like that. So I take it twice a day. Some people, if you have more issues, you might take it with every meal or even every eating occasion, right? So, you know, not just meals, but snacks. I think taking it, you know, I think it's fine to do it that way, but I think what you might do is maybe take more of it at the beginning of starting the product, so you can balance all those things we talked about across the entire gastrointestinal tract, and then back off to take it only when you need it. So that's what I've done, and I just take it twice a day.
Okay. Dr. Sean, I have a friend who's suffering from diverticulitis.
Mm-hmm.
Can taking Restore help her condition?
Yeah, that's one of those gut imbalances that we talk about. So diverticulitis is just an inflammation of the gut lining. So, you know, why are they getting that inflammation? It might be, well, it's definitely because the lining is inflamed, but how did the lining get inflamed? Maybe they don't have enough of a mucus lining to protect. Maybe they've got the wrong bacteria. So they have bacteria that are producing more inflammatory compounds than anti-inflammatory compounds. So this is where gut health, it used to be really confusing to a lot of people, because you'd have a symptom like this and you wouldn't know why. And if you don't know why, then you don't know what to solve. And so that's why a product like Restore that is comprehensive, that whole 5-in-1 idea, that way you can say, well, maybe she wasn't digesting and that's causing the inflammation. Maybe it's the mucus lining and that's causing the inflammation. Maybe it's the bacteria. Well, let's just solve all of those at the same time, and then she'll get a benefit.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, Dr. Sean, there are some questions now, because all of those questions I asked you were Mommy Kate's questions. All right, now we will answer the questions posted in the chat box. Can children drink Origin or Fit20?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. And think about kids. They're growing, right? They need all that protein to build those little bodies into big bodies.
How much dose?
Well, I say, you know, it's like that. one serving of Origin is intended to sort of like replace a meal, right? So you were saying you use it for your breakfast. I use it for
Yes.
my breakfast. I use it before I go to the gym, or I use it when I'm at the gym. So
Yeah.
like I think that's fine if you're saying, well, wait a minute, would I rather give my child this fast food happy meal kind of a thing, or would I rather give, which is really a sad meal, or would you rather give them something that's nutrient dense and healthy and is going to be good for their entire bodies and brains? I think most parents are going to choose the healthy.
Like the sunrise and the restore combination.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect.
Yeah. Okay. In the Philippines, I know for a fact that senior citizens who are patients and who are, let's say, for example, bedridden, are no longer as mobile, and they need nutrition or cannot feed anymore, cannot eat well anymore.
Mhm.
They're given Ensure, ENS.
Yeah,
You're familiar with that milk?
I am. Yeah.
Um, our doctor, Dr. Joe, said he actually looked at using Origin and Fit20 as a substitute for that one. What do you think about that, Dr.
Oh,
Sean?
I think Dr. Joe is 100% correct on that, because Ensure is better than nothing, right? If somebody is, in a situation where, they don't feel like eating and they just need to get some calories in, Ensure is better than nothing, right? They need to get the calories, they need to get a little bit of protein, a little bit of sugar, all that kind of stuff. Because if they take nothing, they're going to lose muscle mass, they're going to lose bone mass, they're going to not have energy. So, there we replace it. But what if you could say, let's not just do better than nothing, let's do something that's actually good for them. And that's Origin would be great, Fit20 would be decent, but I would end up more on the Origin side, because what you're getting is protein, a variety of proteins, a variety of fibers. It tastes good. So Dr. Joe is 100% right. I agree with him.
So we can feed that to our adults,
Absolutely. Yeah,
patients.
I would highly recommend that.
Yeah, wonderful to know that. There's a question about GERD. Is this acid reflux, GERD? Is that
different way of describing it, but yeah, same thing. Yep.
Can our products help with that condition? That's the question.
For the same reasons that I said. You want to make sure you have the right level of acid, not too much, not too little, and you also want to improve the motility of the gastrointestinal tract.
Okay. I love to take coffee, but I try not to take too much of it.
Yeah.
Dr. Sean, what I do now is I put my HL5 in a steaming cup of hot water, and it tastes good.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So is that a good way to do it? Or
yeah, that's a fine way to take it. Does it? I guess it would taste good that way. It would probably taste like tea, right?
Yes, it tastes like tea. Right.
Yeah. No, that's a fine way to do it. That's a fine way to do it. And coffee isn't necessarily bad. A little bit of coffee is really high in polyphenols. You just want to make sure you're not getting too much caffeine, so a little bit of coffee is actually not a bad thing.
Okay, I see you drinking your coffee. There's somebody who is asking, if you don't exercise, can you still take Fit20 as a snack replacement?
Yeah, definitely. Because even if you're not exercising, your body still needs those amino acids on a regular basis. And so your muscle, all your connective tissues, I explained it for collagen, but all of your connective tissues undergo this process called turnover, where they're naturally building up but also breaking down. That's the body's process of keeping those tissues strong and supple and flexible. And so you always want to have a constant supply of those amino acids coming in from those proteins, so that your muscles can build themselves, your bones, your ligaments, your tendons, your cartilage, your skin, collagen, all of that needs a constant supply of those nutrients. So absolutely take those.
Yeah, I noticed, Dr. Sean, when I started to take the HL5, when I would go down the stairs, my knees would hurt.
Mm.
After 3 days of taking it, that discomfort started to go away. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And that's because partly, as we age, our body loses the efficiency of that turnover process. And by making sure that we're giving those building blocks, we can bring that back up to a more youthful level.
Okay. There's a question here. How long will it take if he's taking Restore? Will he or she notice a difference in the gut activity?
Yeah,
How-
well, it depends on what's going on. It could be somebody who just has, one little change in their microbiome and they're back to normal. But if somebody has, let's say somebody has all the problems that we've talked about, they have a problem with digestion and they have a problem with absorption and they have a problem with their gut lining and with their mucus lining and with their bacteria, that person might need a little bit longer time to rebuild and rebalance all of that. It's sort of like, if you're think of it this way, if somebody said, well, how long will it take me to train for a marathon? Well, are you in good shape? Are you in really bad shape? Are you coming off the couch or are you already pretty active? It really depends on where you are. But I always say to people, do whatever you can to not just rebuild and get yourself back to health, but don't just stop there. If you're already really healthy, you want to maintain that health so that you don't have problems later on. So I mean, these natural solutions that we talk about here at Amari and Kiani, they're really for everybody. They're for young and old. They're for men and women. They're for people who are in good shape and not good shape and want to get in better shape. There are people who want to age successfully instead of becoming frail. It really is across the board with these natural therapies.
Yeah, I like what you said, that it's for everyone. Our products are not just for people who are already feeling some physical challenge.
Right.
It's those who are healthy and want to stay healthy and age gracefully. Something wonderful happened yesterday. I was in a meeting and there was a doctor who said, he said, Mommy Kate, you look very young, and I started to laugh. And he said, how old are you? So I said, well, doctor, you guess. And then he said, maybe 40. And I kept laughing and laughing because I said, doctor, I'm 66 years old. Huh? You're only 1 year younger than me.
I wouldn't have guessed that at all.
He would. And so it's nice to hear things like this, that you actually look younger. And I think it's because you've always encouraged us also to live a healthier lifestyle. It's not just taking the food supplements, but really exercising, sleeping well and early and better and stuff like this,
Yeah. And what I love about the natural products is that they help us do those other things, right? People hear this all the time. Well, you're supposed to exercise and you're supposed to get 8 hours of sleep and drink your water and eat your vegetables. And everyone has heard that 1,000 times. But what I love about the natural supplements that we have is that if we can use those to help ourselves feel better, once we feel better, then we're more likely to go and be physically active, and we're more likely to get a good night's sleep, and we're more likely to choose a better diet because our bodies are working better, So it all links in together, and then you get to be 66 and someone thinks you're 40 and you go, yep, I was doing the right things.
And I'm so happy because I have a friend who loves to dance and she's about my age and she has problems with her knees. But she used to do dance sport, the competitive dancing. Mm-hmm. And I'm happy to hear that she's able to dance again now, considering that she was having difficulty with her knee.
That's great.
So I recommended the HL5 to her and the Triangle of Health. So, we can go on and on, Dr.
Yeah, exactly.
To talk about. There's a question here. Mommy Kate, do you take Origin and Sunrise in warm or hot water? No, I take it with cold water. In fact, I put in some ice cubes and I blend it.
Yeah.
And it comes out like a milkshake for me.
It's like a milkshake. Exactly. Yeah. Who doesn't want to have a milkshake for breakfast?
Good. Everybody should try that. 2 sachets of Sunrise and 1 scoop of Origin. Blend it with ice cubes and water. Amazing drink. Amazing drink. And so, Dr. Sean, there's a question here. How about a 5-year-old child? Can the child take Restore? If yes, how much? Maybe 1 capsule?
Yeah, when it comes to kids, a lot of times what I'll say is I use a rule of thumb to say anyone younger than 18 should take a half dose. That's the sort of recommendation in herbal medicine, a half a dose of what we generally recommend for adults until they get to be about 100 pounds. So let's say a 5-year-old wouldn't be this, but let's say you had a 13-year-old who was 100 pounds. Once they're 100 pounds, then now they're metabolically more like an adult, and they probably can take an adult dose. But I still start them at the 1 and move them up to a 2. So I think with a child like that, you could, if the parents thought it was appropriate, empty the capsules in.
Open maybe
something that their body is gonna tolerate well, like a juice or a snack or something like that, and see how it goes.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Sean. We would like to keep you longer, but we know that you are a very busy man. So
well, I'll be there next month, and I'll be happy to answer all the questions.
Yes. And so please give us your final message for all the listeners tonight.
Yeah, well, I think we just talked about it, that we don't want people to wait until they have a problem and then say, oh, now I can solve the problem with these natural products. I want people to look at these natural products and say, wait a minute, could these help me level up my performance? Could these help me be a better version of myself, whether it's a body thing or a brain thing or a mind thing? If you can make yourself better right now, that means you're going to be better tomorrow and better the next day and better the next day. And then you get to be 66 years old like you, and the doctor thinks that you're 40. That's what people are looking for, but you don't want to start late. You want to start right now.
That's true. And so tonight we are so grateful for all the nuggets of wisdom, the knowledge. It has been a very exciting and enlightening talk, Dr. Sean. As always, your expertise and passion for health and wellness is truly inspiring for all of us. And, we are moved to decide we take care of our health, not tomorrow when we're already sick, but today, and the health of the people we love as well. So thank you for sharing with us how Restore can help maintain our gut health, how the protein products can give us the gift of vitality and well-being. You explained, as always, everything so beautifully and clearly. I'm sure you made a positive impact on each and everyone gathered here. Dr. Sean, we so look forward to seeing you live at the Asia Convention, October 18 to 20. So my dear Kayani Amare Philippines and friends from other parts of the world, we are so excited for the launching of Amare's Happy Juice during our Asia Convention. So I invite you to rally your team members to be part of this special international event and be one of the first to try these products that can enhance our mental wellness, the Happy Juice, and be there to hear Dr. Sean live. So here are some gentle reminders before we go. In Kayani, healthy living is a way of life for all of us. In Kayani Amare, the choices we make every single day will determine how healthy we are. So, my dear friends, sleep early, sleep well. When you wake up, take deep breaths, breathe for life. Keep yourself hydrated with a lot of water. Eat healthy. Take your Kayani and very soon Amare food supplements every day. Exercise regularly. Do the Happy Mile walk. That's what I do. Take time to pray. And most of all, continue to be kind and to love much. So mark your calendars. We will see you at the Asia Convention, October 18 to 20 at the Grand Ballroom of the Okada Hotel. And it is such an honor to have with us Amare founder Hip Tran, together with CEO Jared Turner, VP for Global Sales Gabi Sanchez, our Chief Science Officer Dr. Sean Talbot, who's so dear to our hearts, Kayani founder Carl Taylor, Regional Vice President of Asia Iru Zhao, all the Asia GMs, leaders, and business partners. And since we are hosting this landmark event, I'd like to rally everyone to bring our team members in this convention. Our theme is Win as One. Until then, see you, my dear friends. Stay happy and healthy. When the final song is played, take time to let us know how this healthy living session touched your life. You can also express your appreciation and gratitude to Dr. Sean, to your leaders who invited you tonight, to your team members who are also here in the call. This is GM Kate Belosilio wishing you all, in behalf of the Fantastic Four and the entire Kayani Amare Philippine staff, a happy, healthy, glorious life. Thank you.